Now, I'd like to end this week with another bit of animation news, and that is the fact that Rick and Morty's 8th season has hit its halfway point. Now, for those of you that don't know, back in season 7, due to some issues with Justin Roiland leaving the project, there was pretty much an overhaul with how they had to approach season 7, from redubbing episodes, maybe even recreating some episodes. So it is really refreshing that now on season 8, we are hitting the ground running with no interruptions, no diversions, no alterations to the schedule. And I just want to say these 5 episodes that I was able to see were really cool. I feel like we are at a turning point with Rick and Morty where we're finally getting a lot more quality. From episodes featuring Space Beth to episodes discussing the personal relationship between Summer, Morty, and Rick. And even a Jerry-based episode where he is crazy about Easter. And yeah, that episode was wild to watch, especially while I was at work. I did not expect things to go the way they did. Now, one of the other 2 episodes that I watched had Rick and Morty invading this sleeping ship. Essentially, it was like that Chris Pratt space movie where everybody was in hypersleep and Rick and Morty just so happened to cause them to wake up. And it was a great episode all in all, but the episode I really want to talk about is the 3rd episode, which was a Citadel episode. And I always love when these types of episodes happen, as we get a lot of interesting perspectives on the other Rick and Mortys that are within the multiverse, not just our main cast Rick and Morty. Now, I don't want to give too much away as I want everybody to go out of their way to watch these episodes, but from animation to character writing to progression of these characters, I feel like we are in a really good spot where Rick and Morty is back to the same level of not just quality, but also just effort and love. Because we really see some expressive stuff when it comes to these episodes. Whether it's really in-depth character moments, whether it's over-the-top action sequences, or really well-timed comedic bits. And just as a whole, this half batch at least, of episodes have been some of the greatest that I've seen in the past couple seasons. Now, we didn't get any evil Morty as of right now, and we didn't get any of the overarching lore that some people, including myself, love about the series, but this just felt like the classic episode-to-episode adventures. But honestly, it's kind of okay to have that sometimes. We don't always need lore. We got that in season 7. It's good to have a little bit of a break on that. Now, the one thing I will mention as an addendum, when I previously talked about Rick and Morty, I had mentioned that the trailers were the entity that hosted the misleading information. I was wrong. It is the intro cinematics that host that level of will they, won't they appear in the episode clips. Now, aside from that, I'm really excited to see where the second half of season 8 goes. Honestly, I really don't see a difference between the voice actors. I feel like they have pretty much adapted to their roles at this point. We now have Rick and Morty. Like, it's not a sense of there's going to be a getting used to it period. I feel like they're doing perfectly fine. But speaking of which, I think that's pretty much it when it comes to discussing season 8 of Rick and Morty. The episodes are great. The story writing is great. I'm just glad that we are finally back to a place in Rick and Morty where we can just enjoy the show and we won't have to worry about any external drama affecting the aura surrounding it. Now, I will say as a side note, the post-credit scenes of Rick and Morty are honestly the best Chekhov's gun I've seen in TV or streaming in a long time. It's just always so fun to see those side characters you enjoy throughout the episode get that little bit extra at the end. And since I'm talking about another animated series, and because I'm dumb, I'd like to add that no, Bobby does not have a son that was G.H. or Good Hank, Cotton's other son and Bobby's younger uncle. But at this point, I'm off to watch the rest of the season as it comes out, but I think it's time for me to send it back to me and my friends to end this week's episode.